All right, what I want to talk about today is your biological comfort zone. I kind of introduced that in the first video, kind of going over all the different types of comfort zones, why it's important that we kind of go outside of those bounds and test our comfort zones and expand them. It's not about being uncomfortable all the time. It's about expanding your range of comfortability, and that I think is really important. I think we've relied too much in our modern society on convenience and comfort and all these things, and it's made us soft. And the best example I can give is barefoot. I do a lot of barefoot hiking, I do a lot of barefoot walking, and if you think about it, you've probably been wearing shoes your whole life. So what happens if you were in a situation where you didn't have shoes, or if your shoes broke or whatever, and you had to be barefoot? You wouldn't be able to deal with it for very long, depending on the terrain. But if it was a semi-difficult terrain, it would hurt really bad, like gravel or loose rocks. Anything like that actually really hurts. Cement isn't too bad unless it's hot. But like, gives you an example. Like for me, I've been doing barefoot a lot, so now I've got thick calluses, so I can actually handle a wide variety of terrains instead of other people that can't really do any type of terrain. I mean, yeah, most of the hiking I do is on pretty soft sand most of the time, or packed dirt, and that's what I prefer. It still keeps the calluses, but what I do is I'll occasionally go really big and go on a really rough surface to really build up those calluses even deeper. And I think that's really important, is to test those limits of our comfort zone to an extreme degree every now and then. But remember, this is not medical advice, so if you're 100% liable, I am 0% liable if anything happens. But what we want to do is still maintain safety. We don't want to go off the rails, and do crazy things that are going to hurt us or kill us, but there's risk involved inherently in anything. But the other things we want to think about too is exercise. One of the reasons that a lot of people get really sick and really start doing not well older in age is because they don't exercise. So we got to look at inflammation when it comes to exercise in the comfort zone. When you experience exercise, you have inflammation that happens. It's just a natural byproduct of the stress of exercise. So what happens is your body learns to adapt to that exercise and has a lot of anti-inflammatory stuff going on in the body, and that actually helps get you better faster. So when you get sick, or if you get an injury and you exercise, you actually tend to heal better faster than you will someone who doesn't exercise. And what happens over time, especially as you get older into really old age, is you really lose that anti-inflammatory ability. And that's why it's really important to keep exercising. But again, we have to look at that comfort zone. So if you start exercising and you get comfortable in your exercise, your body's going to stop adapting in that exercise. So you always have to be changing what you're doing as well. That's part of expanding the comfort zones, is always trying something new and trying something different. One of the things about our brain is it has these two different sides to it. Your brain does not like to use very much energy. It likes to conserve as much energy as possible. But yet the other side of it is it likes as much novel experience as possible. It likes to grow as many different neural connections as it possibly can, but it is really lazy. So I don't really understand how that works. But what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of that fact that your brain is always looking for novelty, and we're always going to try new and different experiences and look into different things, because that's going to help our brain grow different neural connections. And that does come back to the biology and the physiology, because everything kind of works together synergistically. So the more that we get the neural pathways working, that's going to help the biological pathways work even better. So, things like diet too. Like if you're eating protein 3 meals a day every day, your body's ability to uptake protein is actually not as well as it would be if you were to actually eat protein once a day, or even, eat protein twice a day every day, or take a day off from protein. It's pretty interesting stuff. I really encourage you to dig into that stuff and do your own research as well. So this is kind of just the basics of the physical comfort zone. The biggest thing I can say is to just encourage you to get out there and just see where you're too comfortable and which spots you're weak, and let's start strengthening those weaknesses. It's the same thing when you're strength training. Yeah, we want to build the prime mover muscles, but we want to build those secondary stabilizer muscles as well. And when we do that, that really fully solidifies the human being, and it's really phenomenal stuff. So I'm interested to hear your questions and comments, and thank you for watching.